So my dad,
Oh my god.
hey,
So-
bingo cards out. My dad worked at Nintendo, Phil.
Oh my gosh! No, 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 baby snake, don't eat, daddy.
Save the game, baby. Fucking high five. Let's do another one.
If Eric could kick him and okay, let's say it's me,
Let a side
you,
person kick
and
the yellow belt.
yeah, hold on. I think me, you, and Shelby. If Shelby and I hold him, and you get 1 free shot, I think we can do some damage.
What? This dude has a crush on your wife?
Of health left and no shield, so I threw my shield check down and pulled out my shotgun,
Yeah.
and I looked and it gave me nothing.
But while you were doing that, were you shot in the face? Did that will count
No.
against you?
No, they were down.
Can't hold it anymore, oh boy. Dude, is this for real about to be an ex-boyfriend monster from your dead wife? Because that would be pretty epic. I mean, what does that mean about your wife's taste in men if she used to date a fish monster? Nothing good, I promise you that. Whoa, okay.
Here we go. We got Ditto. That's sweet.
Nice. Well,
Guess what, Bill? New save, baby. I'm not oversaving anything in this game. I'm gonna do a new save every time, only because I can. So many terabytes of saves when I'm 45. What do you do about it? It's my game. I do what I want.
We got some. Oh! Oh! Whoa! Oh my god! I was wrong!
Hello and welcome to our underpowered channel, the channel that we call home. This is where we live, this is where we do our thing, and here we are. This is an underpowered channel broadcast. If you don't know who we are, we're a gaming channel. We talk about video games, card games, including Pokemon, and soon to be D&D. D&D is coming this Saturday for the first time, well, second time, but Dice Night will be well underway in a matter of days, so we're very excited. This is a little segment I have been calling the Backlog Battler. My goal is to discuss what we're all playing right at this moment and what titles are worth your time, money, and energy. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to hop in. Some numbers have been crunched. Some things have been done, and I am excited to talk through those different elements today. I don't know where you're at. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's going on in your world. I can tell you my crazy day was absolutely insane. Gone for like 13 hours or so today on the road doing my thing, and then I get back home, go to the freezer. Guess what has happened? You've guessed it. The freezer has gone out. It no bueno, no worko. It absolutely just fell apart. So I open it and everything's soft. Like all the meat is just like, oh, what do we do? So we move everything to the indoor freezer. We had to like delete some ice cream. We had to throw away some pancakes. There were some serious things going out the window, and that is kind of how that played out. So what am I going to do tomorrow? I get to play the game called Buy the Freezer, and that's what we're going to go do, is buy a freezer. So I'm excited for it. Anytime you make grown-up dollars and you go out in the world, the things that you want to spend it on is not utilities. Okay, you don't want to go and buy a dishwasher with that little extra money you saved up. But hey, you know what? Things happen. It's all good. Here we are. We are moving forward, and it is 2023. And it's crazy, right? I mean, 2023, we're well underway. We're almost an entire month in at this time. And, I've kind of taken some time to review the best games, video games of 2022. Now, if you followed me on Twitch and our podcast and everything, essentially what I try to do is go through and comb the internet for the best games out there. And I tell you what, a lot of bangers in 2022. Some stuff that hits the list that I'm not really, that I'm kind of surprised to see, to be honest with you. But we'll talk about a few of those titles here tonight. So how do I go about my process? How do I figure out what games I'm going to play for 2023? Well, what I'll do is I will scour the internet and look at a whole bunch of GOTY lists. And essentially what I've done this year is I've taken those GOTY lists and I've thrown them into one document. So which games are we talking about? Which lists? We're looking at CNET, Game Informer, GameSpot, Giant Bomb, IGN, Kotaku, Metacritic's 89 or above club is what I call that. The Nextlander podcast, the Polygon's Top 50, the Game Awards, and Waypoint are the main sites that I'm pulling from. I also throw in like some individual lists, but I don't know that I'm going to share those on stream. And part of the reason that I'm choosing not to share those on stream is essentially because what has happened is some of these individuals who have struck out on their own or started their own channels have been tucking their game leader lists behind paywalls. And for me to expose that doesn't feel right. Me going on and looking at a website that's free, I feel okay sharing that information. If we're going to look at individual lists that hide behind isn't the right word, that are locked behind a Patreon or a paywall of some kind, I'm not going to share that information. But I have those lists, and you'll kind of see how they calculate in a little bit later. But without any further ado, let's hop in. In terms of the individual lists, there's about 7 or 8 people. I won't share their names. And then I also put in a wanna play list a little bit later in the show. So let's check it out. Let's show you what I have been working on. I've spent many hours at night trying to put this list together. And here it is. I understand. It's a spreadsheet. It's not very sexy. It's not very cool. But what it allows me to do is crunch some data. So I'm going to kind of go through this, talk about the things that I want to talk about that I think are worth noting or worth talking about on here. If there's games that I'm not hitting that you think that we should consider for games that need to be played or need to be talked about, let us know in the chat. Because what we're trying to do is figure out which games are worth your time, play through them, and tell you Is this worth your time or is this not worth your time? That is a true question that we're trying to answer. So with that being said, let's run through these lists. First of all, you got CNET, right? They came out, Elden Ring's on top, and you're going to see a lot of similar suspects here, right? Elden Ring sitting on top of this list is not an uncommon trend, is what we're seeing. God of War Ragnarok also repeats quite a few times. Return of Monkey Island a couple of times, Neon White. And as you go through these lists, you can see Game Informer, a lot of the similar suspects that we were just talking about. Vampire Survivors repeats on this list many times as well. A lot of games share the same DNA. You go over to look, I did it here. Not GameStop, GameSpot. I do that all the time. GameStop, GameSpot. I mean, a little bit different, but all the same and the same, right? You start looking at GameSpot's list. As you can see, as we're going through this, I'm already marking some of these as played. Listen, Marvel Snap, you've known it, you've seen it before, right? I mean, Marvel Snap is one of those games that people are absolutely in love with. And I think that this game is really brilliantly designed in terms of what they've done and what they set up, because they've essentially made a card game that is easy to pop in and has enough depth to really allow you to come back over and over again. When this finally went public and was out of beta and people were playing it full time, there was a lot of buzz around it, a lot of positive energy, and this game really grabbed a lot of people. For me, I'm not a phone game guy. I'm not going to hop in and dedicate time to a phone game. I feel that when I'm on my phone, gaming is not what's happening, right? If I'm going to game, it's going to be on a device. It's going to be on my Switch. It's going to be sitting in front of my Xbox. So as much as I respect this game and I can feel how good it is when I play it, this is not something that I can dedicate time to for a couple reasons. One, it's on my phone. And if I start playing on my phone, I'm never going to stop. And two, there is no end to this game. This game never shows you end credits. Could it be argued that I play through season number 1 and then give you a thumbs up, thumbs down? Yes. I'm going to tell you that if you're looking for a phone game that is free, has enough depth, and is in this Marvel wrapper that's good, this is it. This is the game. I'm not going to play this any more than I already have. I can tell you it's good. I can tell you it's deep. First and foremost, card games just aren't really my jam for the most part. And then to put it on phones and make it never ending, it's just not my cup of tea, right? So for that reason, I'm marking that as played on my lists. So essentially what I'm going to do is go through and mark these played or not played, right? Another usual suspect you're seeing on here is Tunic. Over and over, Tunic comes in, and I'm actually really surprised by Tunic. If we take a look at Tunic specifically, it has an art style that is absolutely unreal. And when this game started coming out, people lost their mind, right? People were like, this is the game that is going to be on a lot of the Game of the Year lists and is going to be something that everyone's buzzed about. You get to the end of the year, you get to the end of 2022, and all of a sudden Tunic doesn't have the same traction that people had for it early. And this is one of those games that really surprises me in not being in more top spots or more lists across the board. Did it do well in the Game of the Year? Heck yeah, it did. But did it hit the high heights that I thought it was going to? And the answer is no, it didn't. Why is that? I think that there are other games that came out this year that look a little bit more influential, and I think that this game was very Fez-like in that it was hard to penetrate. So as you got 75% of the way through, based on what I've heard, this game became almost too obtuse, too difficult to migrate, too uncertain on where to go next. I'm very excited to play this. I would say that if I was going to list the games I'm most excited to play, this rings up there as close to number 1 for me. So chances of me hopping into this game are very, very high. This is almost like that treat that you don't want to eat all of right away, right? I almost want to I know I'm going to love this game, so I'm going to put it out a little bit, work through some of the homework before I come back and play Tunic. So very excited to play Tunic. It looks very cool. It's kind of got that Metroidvania Zelda vibe to it, and I'm just jacked to play it. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Kind of surprised that's not more on more lists. Xenoblade Blade Chronicles is kind of like the JRPG of the year that people are super excited about. I am probably going to jump into that. I played through a JRPG. If you listened on Tuesday, you already know what I'm going to talk about. I finished Fire Emblem Three Houses this week, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the podcast, or later in this episode, more accurately. So what I'm getting at is you're seeing a lot of the similar suspects, right? Elden Ring, God of War, all games that we've already talked about. Marvel Snap on here again. Norco is a game that repeats quite frequently, as well as Citizen Sleeper. There's a couple of games in here that are very narrative driven, and I think that it's a very interesting year for narrative driven games. You get into Nextlander, a lot of the similar suspects. Here's one that I'm very excited about, Atari 50. Based on the buzz that I'm hearing on this game, especially within the Nextlander content, is that this is a game that really tries to take the video game format and flip it into a documentary style game. And I think that it is going to get a lot of praise because it's a very unique entry, and I'm excited to see what it actually is. In terms of me going back and playing 80s games, not really my thing. You know what I mean? Not like something that's really gonna pull me in. But there it is. Polygon's top 50. Polygon does a top 50 list that I love, and you're going to see it repeat a little bit later in this episode, but the Polygon top 50 is really cool because they're doing 50 games. Their top 10 is their top 10, you can assume, but the top 50 really shows me that they're kind of giving everybody a mouthpiece to talk about their favorite entries. You can see on this list, Fortnite was their top 5th game of all their top 20s. If you've watched our content, 2022 Fortnite was my game of the year. For many reasons, you can go back and watch an episode on it if you'd like. I think what they've done in the last year of 2022 is really innovate their platform. I'm marking it as played because I played it. It's a good game. Again, no end credits. I can't keep it on the backlog for too long. Marvel Snap has come and gone, as you know as well. In terms of these other ones, we kind of get into in the woods. You talk about top 50, and some of these are really, really not something that I have really played a ton of. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a game that I played this year, and I think it was really good. If anything, I think Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was almost one of those underrated titles for me. We covered it a bit in the podcast. I played with my buddy. We talked about the different things that we did and what we thought about it. But what I can tell you is that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a wonderful return to the Borderlands format. And essentially why I was impressed with this title specifically was because it took the medieval times wrapper and put it perfectly on top of a Borderlands game. And I thought their ability to really marry those two concepts felt very effortless. This is a game that I'm disappointed more people didn't get in and play. If anything, this would be one of the more underrated games that came out in 2022, if you're asking me. I think it's a really, really underrated title, and I think that it's worth more people's time. If you're a multiplayer and looking for a good co-op game, I think that this is a game that I would seriously consider because it's just straight fun, man. You're just coming in, you're just shooting people first person style and taking people out. And it's a blast. Monster Hunter Rise is another game that I played the base Monster Hunter this year and liked it, didn't love it, is where I landed on Monster Hunter. So for me to play a expansion pack, probably not going to happen. Slim to none. As many people know, Game Awards came out. Again, similar titles you're seeing here, one of which is Stray. And that is a game, Stray specifically, is a game that got a lot of praise when it came out, but again, kind of fell away as the GOTYs kind of came and went. So in terms of this title specifically, it's the cat game. If you're wondering what game I'm talking about, it's the game with the kitty cat in it, right? And it has a really cool art style, kind of futuristic. I'm probably going to play it. This is going to be added to my backlog list and will go into a category I'm going to call, should I buy a PS5? Is this the year? Is 2023 the year that I'm going to buy a PS5? Maybe? Kind of. First things first, we're buying a TV. More to come on that later. And lastly, Waypoint. Waypoint has been a great establishment as well, recently developed, and it's really just fun to watch them continue to evolve the format. And they did a wonderful Game of the Year episode where I thought they did a really brilliant job of giving everybody the time to talk about their top 10 list, and it really made for a very diverse grouping of games. So if you are an enthusiast of any of these sites, know that this is where I get to go to get my news. And it's really been neat to kind of see all these gaming outlets kind of go out and do their own thing for the most part. One of my favorite channels has always been Giant Bomb, and seeing the evolution of that team and how they've kind of pushed out and struck out on their own is a really interesting thing for me. You kind of get in a system or a way of life, and I think what you saw this year with Giant Bombs, you saw things fall apart, and then team members went every which way, and then Giant Bomb came back and almost rebranded themselves, and in doing so I thought they did a lot of good work. So that is the list. That is the list that I've put together, right? So if we take this all the way to Waypoint, we're looking at 175 cells. Of that, you've got 150 titles. Are some of those repeating? Yes, they are. But you're looking at 150 different categories that have been put into the spreadsheet. So why am I elaborating on what the data is? I'm elaborating on what the data is because from that, I have gone through, set up a function that allows me to count those games and kind of look to basically look at those and figure out what is going to happen with the lists and where everything falls. So let's do that. You ready? You ready for the grand reveal? I'm pretty excited. So of all these outlets that have put together a Game of the Year list, I have gone through and I have set up functions where they basically count if that title repeats. Now, this was some data cleaning, like I'm embarrassed to tell you how many hours I put in, but I think it's worth time to consider. So what you're seeing here is you are seeing the games from each outlet and those 8 unidentified individuals who I took lists from, and they are being counted. These titles are being counted on how many times they have shown up on those Game of the Year lists. What does that mean? That means that this right here, this list in front of you, is the greatest games on the internet of 2022. Unarguably, many, if not all, of the bigger gaming outlets are on here, and they are derived into this one list. So let's talk about it. What we're seeing in the number one slot, to the tune of 17 repeating lists, is Elden Ring. Elden Ring has taken the internet by storm. It's a game that felt very niche when it came out, and since then it has captured the hearts and minds of many individuals, from the individuals that have always played from software games that love this kind of like hard as nails, knock your head against the wall over and over until you beat the boss gameplay, to those individuals that don't really enter this world unless they have to. And what the craziest thing about this title, in my opinion, is that this is not a easily onboarded player experience, right? There is some cruft around this this genre in general, and I believe that they found a way to either make that barrier to entry so low that people can hop over it easily. And this is probably one of those games that I'm most excited to play because it repeats so many times. Of the number of lists, I should have counted them. I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus 8. 19 lists in total. I have a total of 19 different lists. 11 of those being different outlets for game design or gaming websites, 8 of those being individuals. This game showed up 17 times over the course of 19 different lists. Like, if that's not an overall nod to Game of the Year, I don't know what is. So what I'm doing here is I'm distilling these lists into what is actually the best. We all have opinions what's showing up to be the best. Elden Ring on the top spot. Neon White and Tunic tie for the second place spot. I said, you know, Tunic doesn't show up as much. I mean, obviously I'm wrong. The data here shows such that this is the second most repeating, tied with Neon White. So very good games. Third place, you see God of War Ragnarok. Obviously a beautiful game. Vampire Survivors takes the 4th spot. Norco takes the 5th spot with 8 repeating entries. Pentiment comes in at number 6, and then so the next one listed here is Citizen Sleeper, but they're tied between Marvel Snap and Immortality. So it kind of brings me to like the next thing that I wanted to talk about when digesting these numbers, digesting the games of 2022 that came out. These 3 titles, Norco, Pentiment, and Citizen Sleeper, are 3 narrative-based experiences, right? These are games that are essentially not super flashy, not super action-based, but they are games that strike a chord with people in terms of getting them to feel some way. And I think that what we're seeing in terms of that list specifically is that when you have a narrative experience that is doing something that really moves people, like the action-based game that we normally see on these GOTY lists is not necessarily a lock to keep it in the top 10, right? So take, for example, Horizon Forbidden West, right? Looks like a beautiful game, a game that I'm going to let sit on this backlog until I play it. Really enjoyed the first one. But you listen to the internet talk about games like Norco and Citizen Sleeper and Pentiment, and they're more excited and more enthused about games like this than they are something like Horizon Forbidden West. Now, having not played either of those titles, like it's hard for me to sit here and judge them. What I find interesting is that you have these 3 games that are so narratively focused, and they're sitting on a lot of these Game of the Year lists. I will say that these 3 titles, though very different in presentation and look, obviously share some of the same DNA. And the reason I bring that up is if you really dig into those different lists that you have in front of you, or that I had in front of me, they're not normally all 3 listed on the same lists. And the reason I think it's worth saying that these are all a little bit different but all a little bit the same is because if they were so starkly different, they wouldn't be cannibalizing each other's market. And I think that is what happened a little bit within these 3 games specifically. Narrative based, somewhat text based, and really moved people to, you know, really speak to different narrative choices and how it made them feel. And I think that's really cool. You know, if you've watched this channel long enough, and kind of why I wanted to break off into this separate thing is I am so fascinated with video games because of the way they make you feel. And this is going to be a place where we can kind of breathe and talk about those things. And I'm very excited to get into these 3 titles very specifically. Norco, Pentiment is what you're seeing on the screen right now. And then also Citizen Sleeper, which I can pull up here in a second. But obviously these 3 games share some DNA. And I'm excited to get into them. So let's keep going down this list because there's some other observations I want to make. Immortality, obviously, obviously that is a not VHS, the live action video into the anyway. It's very exciting. So Marvel Snap, gonna mark that played. Horizon Forbidden West, just talked about it, showed up 5 times on these lists. Kirby's Forgotten Land. Whoa, bro. Where did Kirby come from? Like, how did Kirby make the top list? I don't know, but it did, and people are real excited about it, and I'm real excited to play it. If I'm looking for something to play with my kiddos, this is like close to the top with the bullet. So very excited to play with Kirby. Let's check this. Let's check this trailer out. Oh, it's a little Kirby. Oh, it's cute. Yep. Running right along. Something about Kirby is just like unfiltered joy, okay? Like Kirby just knows how to get there, get stuff done, make things happen, and you're gonna do it with a smile on your face. Go Kirby, go Kirby, go. Go Kirby, go Kirby, go. He's killing it. He's rocking and rolling.
Becoming anything, since Kirby is a cutie patootie. Oh, look, he's a car or a coaster or a vending machine.
No, he's just a little pink puffball.
Dude, Kirby can be a roller coaster. Enough said. No wonder it's a GOTY. No wonder it's like Game of the Year. So big ups to Kirby. I'm really excited to see that title on this list. Wasn't sure if it was going to hang till the end of the year, but sure enough, here it is. Then you get into the 9th best game of the year, and now you're seeing that fracturing. Atari 50, talked about that. Mario's plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. This is a sequel that I kind of think didn't really get the notoriety that I thought it would. As coveted and as sought after as that first title was, I'm kind of surprised this game didn't get a little bit higher. But the people that played it obviously loved it. So Return to Monkey Island, I can almost tell you the chances of me going through and playing that probably slim to none. That point and click adventure just doesn't really do it for me. And then you get down to the number 10 spot, and you're looking at that as another 5-way tie. And I think that the thing that I want to talk about in terms of that 5-way tie is this game right here. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Kind of mind-blowing. Because that game has come in at the number 10 spot, repeating 3 times on the lists, and then you have to scroll down here to find the other title, which is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Okay, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Let's take a second to talk about this. Because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet straight up destroyed the internet. This game came out and people lost their ever-loving mind. I mean, people were on all the TikToks, all the YouTubes, streaming this away, obviously on Twitch. Everyone was talking about Scarlet and Violet. And for it to come in at the end of the year and land on one Game of the Year list is shocking. It's literally shocking. And it's literally shocking. And the reason it's so shocking is because the internet lost their mind when this came out. They were obsessed with it. They played it for what felt like 3 days to a week. And look how good it is. Look how amazing it is. And then it came and went. And then you get to the Game of the Year, and I think we all know that Scarlet and Violet had some serious issues. Technically launched and had some struggles. And I think that you saw that play out in these GOTY lists. I think that's a reason that you don't see this game on a lot of these GOTY lists, because it's something that kind of launched, technically broken, if not chunky to say the least. It did not launch like a smooth, silky launch. It launched like a chunky chunkster and didn't quite get there. So I find it mind-blowing that this game is not necessarily on the list as often as we'd see it. So kind of going back to my notes, I think the things that I find very interesting are the narrative games. I've already talked about that, talked that into the dirt. But the other thing that I kind of want to point out that I find very interesting is that if you look at this Game of the Year list, what you see is a lot of repeats of Game Pass games. And why I find that so intriguing with 2022's Game of the Year is that I believe that Game Pass is influencing the way we play games. Let me back that up a little bit. Some of these games being offered on Game Pass got them more exposure. And because it got them more exposure, I think some of those titles are on this list. Without having played all these games, I can't tell you for sure, but for me to go onto Game Pass and see what's going on and being like, oh, everyone's talking about that game and it's included in my subscription, what I really want to take some time to think about, and what I have been thinking about, is, are these games on this list because they came to us from Game Pass? And I think the answer could be maybe. Having not lived or been a part of a outlet that covers video games professionally, I can't tell you how they divvy up time and how they focus on it. Maybe they look at buzz, maybe they look at some other thing. But in this world where you look at this list, and many of these within the top 10 are games that somewhat appeared on Game Pass at some point, let me just bold them. Is that it? Xenoblade, Requiem, Grounded. So Arceus is not on that list. Stanley is not on that list. So what I'm getting at is when I take this list of all the games that fit in the top 10 by points, which means I have about 24 games here. These are all the games that have counted over a certain number. Long story short, if I take these numbers, I basically look at about 10 8 and 8, five, six, 8 games that have all been shown on Game Pass. And look, there's another. Tinykin was also on Game Pass. So what I'm getting at is Microsoft and Game Pass and the way they've changed the paradigm have impacted the Game of the Year lists, in my opinion. And the reason they did it is because they gave away these packages for free. They said, hey, play them. And the people that gravitated towards these either caused a buzz about it on social media, which influenced the media to go and seek these games out, media being games coverage. Hey, there's a big buzz in this game. I'm going to go check it out. Or those individuals that are reviewing those games specifically saw, hey, this game is free, there's a little bit of buzz, I'm going to check it out, and then they fell in love. Long story short, I can't tell you what came first, the chicken or the egg, but what I can tell you is with confidence, Game Pass is changing the way we look at the next video games we're playing. Because I can play this game for free, even though maybe it's not the game I would go buy, it is semi-free and somebody said it was good, so I'm going to go play it. And that, my friends, is the industry changing before our eyes. And you can see it in this Game of the Year breakdown in terms of numbers. Very cool. Oh, thank you. No. Just need a little bit of water. I'm back. The other thing to consider, and the other thing that we're going to be looking at now, is going to be the time sync game, right? The time sync game is a game that kind of fits into a theme on its own. And I think what we're seeing is some of these titles are games that you want to repeat over and over in a quick time frame. Neon White, Vampire Survivors, and Marvel Snap come to mind. These are games that are very quick and snappy. From what I've played about with Vampire Survivors, it's very good, but at the same time, like Vampire Survivors is like a very you play it and then start over and then you play it again, and that is exactly what's happening with that game specifically. So it's exciting to kind of see where it all goes. I don't know if those are time sync games. I don't know if they're loopy games. I don't know what you call them, but there's definitely something going on where people just want to veg out and play that game. So kind of interesting. Okay, so I've spent a lot of time about 2022's games, right? I think it's interesting to take this data and break it down. What we're going to do now is we're going to clean my GOTY list. In other words, this is the list that I go to and I choose to play games from. I'm going to scroll past some of those individuals because they're individuals that I don't want to cover on stream. 2022, a game that I kind of want to go out and try to play, Sonic Frontiers. I mean, open world Sonic, can we talk about it? Seems like a lot of fun and something that I'm going to dive into eventually. I know there was a couple of very noisy critics on this. These are games that I'm going to continue to work through and finish. What I want to do is kind of go through and pull out games that I know I'm not going to play and eventually need to be deleted from the backlog. So let's talk about a few of those. Returnal. I want to look at the game Returnal because I don't know if it's something that I am going to want to play. Returnal trailer. Let's check that out. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, this is a PS5 game. Let's check this out. This game came out in 2022. It is a game that is a little bit action-based, rinse and repeat kind of a deal. Run-based is what I'm trying to say more accurately. So watching that game and this trailer seems pretty interesting. Let me get you that screen back a little bit more. Yeah, this is a game that I want to play. I want to try to play this game. Am I going to have to buy a PS5 to do it? Yeah, I am. As I continue to go through my list while that trailer is playing, It Takes Two. You've seen a little bit of that streamed on this channel, and you're going to continue to see it because I want to finish that game, and we're going to do it one little bit at a time. Inscription, also a game. Let's try to find something that I'm gonna pop off of this list. Here, you want some audio on that? You deserve it.
Each time I awake, this planet seems somehow different. As if changing. This world.
Returnal looks cool. Returnal looks like a game that I want to play. I'm excited. I'm excited to get in there and play it. Once I have a PS5, it'll probably be something that I get to go and do for sure. Let's pop back over to this list. So we are currently in 2021, I believe, and these are games that I'm going to start just taking the axe to. Outer Wilds, like Lose the Eye. I tried to play the base game. It's fun. Appreciate it. Did not play it all the way through. I'm not going to play the DLC. Just not going to happen. Overboard looks like a pretty cool game. I'm just going to drop Tales of Arise. Drop it. See ya. Gone. Ratchet & Clank's going to stay. Valheim's going to stay. Age of Empires 4. Sorry, Phil. I'm going to drop. I'm going to say, yeah, just drop. Shin Megami Tensei 5? What is this? What is this game? What does this game do? Let me clean up my desktop a little bit. Probably should have done that earlier. Oh, definitely not my Teams account. Don't worry about that. What is this? It's on Switch. Okay. This looks anime.
High school student living in Tokyo.
Okay.
Life is fairly normal.
Fairly normal.
But that reality is upended after you get pulled into a different dimension.
Oh no. Getting pulled in a different dimension. Stuff's getting real. Things are shaking violently. Oh. Ooh, heavy metal. You're winning me back.
Another Tokyo exists.
Another.
Apocalyptic world where angels and demons reside.
What is happening right now?
Suddenly, you fuse with a mysterious figure.
Dude, this just feels like another case of the Mondays for me. You know what I mean? You fuse with a demon too. Let's see. Oh, this is JRPG for show. Oh, look at this. You can have conversations with beasts. Pretty cool concept. But you know what this screams to me, guys? It's a JRPG. Please don't play me. Yeah, see, I got to drop it. Not going to happen. I got other JRPGs. Animal Crossing, see ya, dropping it. Loop Hero, that is actually something that I'll probably play. Guilty Gear fighting game, drop, see ya. Genshin Impact, phone game, drop. Returnal, already talked about it. Toem. What is a Toem, guys? I don't know what a Toem is. Okay, let's check it out. Toem, launch trailer. Oh, I thought it was... See what showed up? Somebody towing an actual car. Oh, look at this art style. This looks fun. This could stay in your heart long after you beat it. Get it? Heart, beat. Yeah, they made a funny. I'm into it. This seems cute. Perfect for snuggling under the blanket. This feels like a rainy day game. Toem, huh? Okay, we get to take pictures. It's very like zen. Oh, but you gotta take pictures and everything. Dude, I don't want to take pictures in real life, let alone a fake game. What are we doing here? Toem, a photo adventure. Available now. I wonder if that whole game's in black and white. If so, good on ya. Like, I love the art direction there. Toem, pour one out, guys. Toem's gone. See ya. What else we got here? Moonglow Bay. Okay, see, we're getting into games that I haven't even heard before, and I kind of just want to drop them without even hesitating, and maybe I should, but something about me will not allow that. Interesting art style. Okay. Guy in a boat. Not Minecraft, but Minecraft. Okay. It rains in this world. That's a little sad. People read books. What are we doing here? This is very heartfelt. This is very city builder. This feels to me like this is Animal Crossing. Oh gosh. Yeah, it looks like that game. It looks like that game that Spiritfarer. It looks a lot like Spiritfarer. And guess what? I love the heck out of Spiritfarer. I don't want to go play Spiritfarer. Nier Replica, love Nier. Would love Nier to come out with like another sequel, because Nier Automata is probably one of my faves that came out unexpectedly. So, oh, here you gotta watch a commercial, and this is Octopath Traveler 2, I think. Casey's real excited about that. Oh, it's a Squeenix game. Strike one. This thing isn't gonna tell me anything. Dude, I don't know. Like, Nier Automata was a really good game. Like, I really liked Nier Automata. I don't know that I need to go back to the Nier universe. Like, I appreciate it's on this list, but yeah, that if this game was a little more coveted, showed up more times, it would probably be a yes from me, because it does not fall into those categories and essentially is not like a must play. Like, it's gonna get dropped here. Ace Attorney, yep, I appreciate you from afar, but I'll see you later. Eastward, don't know much about that. Mass Effect, not going back to play more Mass Effect game. Like, already did it, been there, done it. Dom Formankin, Boyfriend Dungeon, Persona 5 Strikers. I'm gonna play Persona 5. It's not going to be it's not going to be a Strikers game. If I'm gonna play Persona 5, it's gonna be Persona 5, not Persona 5 Strikers. Those are different things. Cookie Run Kingdom. You know, we get down here and it just feels like these games are not going to be, they're going to get cut from the list. You know, they're all probably great games, but they're going to get cut. Artful Escape, that's one about the guitar player. It seemed a lot like a Don't Nod game, and they do good work. I'm not going to go back and play it. Final Fantasy Remake Intergrade, I'm going to leave that on here because I will go back and play FF7 remake. It's going to happen. Let's see. Cookie Run Kingdom. It's not coming back. Welcome to Cookie Run Kingdom. Pre-register animated trailer. Okay. Is this a game? Let me show you what I'm looking at. I don't really know what this is. Cookie Run Kingdom game trailer. I don't think I need English. That was from the Nier search that we were doing. Cookie Run Kingdom. Okay. Oh, geez. Is this all supposed to be... Is it like super animated like that? Here's the actual trailer. Let's see what we have. Oh, cute as heck, first of all. What are we looking at here? Raise cookies. Build your sweet kingdom. Okay. All right. You can build a kingdom. You can bring your kingdom to life. Also cool. You can get really upset cookie people that attack things. This feels like a phone game, guys. I don't know. You know how I feel about phone games. It's not my favorite thing. A new Cookie Run RPG. Okay, where's that available? Cookie Run Kingdom. It looks so cute. We're gonna open a new tab. Cookie Run Kingdom. Let's just see what comes back. See if Wiki comes back. Wikipedia. Here we go. Cookie Run Kingdom is available for Android and iOS. That sounds like a phone game. Bye-bye. See you later. Dorf Romantic. This is a game that's getting a lot of buzz this year. I may leave this on here just because of the buzz it got this year. Full teaser version 1. When did this come out? Oops. Sorry, it's an ad within an ad within an ad. This one came out 8 months ago. Yeah, let's check this puppy out. Okay, tile-based. I like the way you move, tile-based. Okay. Oh, gosh. This is giving me serious Catan vibes. Settlers? Okay. Locking things into place. I like it. The numbers go up. Oh, God. This game looks really good, guys. Oh, no. Oh, no. This game could live in my brain rent-free. Explore colorful biomes. Yeah, I like that. God, the art style is so darn cool. Okay. You've sold me. This game stays on the list. This game stays on the list. It's good. Find new tile sets. Oh my goodness. And then same question again. How do play? Pause that so it doesn't play again. How do play game? Let's see a wiki for it. Wikipedia right there. Let's see. This one is playable via Switch, Windows. That would be a Switch game right there. I'm going to leave myself a nice little note here, which is, right, where are we going to put it? We haven't decided. Oh, make a decision, Shelby. It's going to be right here. We're going to call it Switch. That way we can kind of track what goes where. Ooh, that's a long deal. Let's back that in. Okay. Eastward. Let's check out Eastward. I think this is a game that Casey Cool on the cast was really a fan of. Let's see. Eastward launch trailer for the Switch. Oh, Chucklefish. Good luck. I mean, Chucklefish does some great work. Very excited about them. Just out here smoking cigs, doing my thing. Okay. A lady in a bubble. Cool. Loving the art style. Feeling anime with a dude riding a rocket. I love it. This is core, man. This is hardcore. Okay. Ooh. Cool art style. Great music. Seems very lived in. I'm sold. That's a game we're going to keep on the backlog. I'm a fan. So then we get into 2021's, well, we're still in 2021. Axiom Verge is a game that I'm going to knock out this year. Overland I'll leave on this list just because Casey was so excited about it. Inscription, all of these games are staying. Let's see, Battle Royale. What the heck is a Battle Royale? Battle Royale is probably going to go bye-bye. It's probably going to go bye-bye. Let's see, it's right here. Oh, hello, advertisements. Cool music that we don't want to pay the rights for.
So you want to be a parachuter? Stand up. Good.
Battle Royale launch trailer. Let's see what we got. Oh man, it's word based. What is this? What is this garbo right here? Oh no, it's that Scrabble game. No. Dude, Scrabble games, not my style. This one looks really good. I appreciate you. I see you. I'm gonna keep you at a distance because a multiplayer Scrabble game, as much respect as it gets, is gone. It's not on here. Fighting games, sorry, not my thing. Little Nightmares 2, I'm gonna keep that because it sounds cool. Genesis Noir, not really sure. I'll research that one later. So this is kind of what I do every year is I'll go through and I'll clean this up. And essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that I've milked these lists for all they are. And as I get a little bit lower, you'll see games like this, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. That's going to be a drop because that refers to that anniversary collection that's no longer available because they don't sell it. See you later. 13 Sentinels will come back. Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door. Gonna keep that on here. Half-Life Alex stays on here. Royale, I don't know why it has a period. No, it doesn't have a period. Cyberpunk 2077, that's a monkey on my back. Casey's Game of the Year of 2020. These are all 2020 titles now. Dragon Quest, maybe one day. 2019, MK11. Ooh, people say that this story is so good. I'm gonna keep it for now, but that one will probably be dropped. We're dropping Ring Fit Adventure. Not gonna go back and play it. Sorry, look at this body, not a ring fit body. Okay, a ring unfit body, maybe. And if that's ringing true, a heyo in the chat, I say heyo. Judgment. This is in the Yakuza series, and that is a great list. So as we come to 2019, we have hit it. This game right here is Fire Emblem Three Houses. So I have finished Fire Emblem Three Houses. It is officially complete. It is off my backlog, and it was an experience, to say the least. I'm going to mute this, and you can kind of see the video that's playing in the background. But essentially, if you heard me talk about this on Tuesday, I kind of went over it with Casey. The thing about this game is that Casey loves this game. And Casey, if you're hearing this, I appreciate you. I love you. If you are like Casey and you are somebody who appreciates a good RPG or likes JRPGs in general, this is a game that I believe you should play as somebody that is an enthusiast of JRPGs. I think that the way that they combine the teaching elements, the team elements, and the player roster with the interpersonal characters is really brilliantly done. You are essentially teaching a student, you are then having a conversation with that student, you are then battling with that student. And that triangle essentially rotates over and over. And what it does is it endears you or ties you to those characters in such a significant way that you really learn to appreciate them. If you do not like RPGs and you are hesitant to get in them, much like I am, I would suggest that you pass on Fire Emblem Three Houses, and here's why. When it comes down to the students and those relationships that you make within this game, I think that they are very engaging and good. My problem is somebody that doesn't like JRPGs like myself, it took me 40 hours to turn the corner on this game. 40 hours. And when I clock in at 55 hours at the end of the game, I appreciate what it is. It has made me feel for these characters, but it took me 40 hours to get there, to get comfortable with the systems, to actually understand the beats of the game. It's not a language that I knew how to speak initially, and I don't know that it was worth the investment in learning how to speak the language. The students' relationships are very anime in that some of them are very deep, heartfelt stories that are very built out, and others just feel super flimsy. Like some characters you can tell that they really liked and they had somewhere to go, and others are just like, I don't know, this guy likes to eat a lot, and maybe he'll interact with an interesting character down the road, but he's not really the character that really comes through and you're like, yeah, I got to get to know them. So because of those reasons, I kind of bounced off of this game. I would suggest that if you're not like a lover of JRPGs, to pass on this game. The systems are really hard to completely get your head around, and once you do, you're about 30 or 40 hours in. So, in terms of the rest of this game, the battling is strong. If there was a game that was just focused on the battling, I think I would have liked it more. As I'm talking about this game, Fire Emblem Engage comes out tomorrow to the public. So if that's something that interests you, I would almost gravitate towards Engage. But if you look at 2019, which is what we're going to do now, is we're going to jump back to that list of games in 2019, and you will see Fire Emblem Three Houses come up multiple times, which is why it's something that I'm trying to, that I forced myself to play, in that I know it was good. People have told me it's good, so I'm going to figure out why it's good. And I think that what I saw was, I get why it's good. All the systems fit together really well. It's just not a game for me. So if you're on the fence, if you're not really a JRPG guy, I tell you to pass on Fire Emblem Three Houses. If you like anime and like the style of game, I would say sign up, get her done, enjoy it. As we keep going down this list of games, we now enter 2018. Sorry, you can't see that. 2018 right there. That's what those yellow line breaks are. A Way Out, probably go back to that. Subnautica is a game that's been on my backlog for so long, guys, that that I really want to eventually go back and do it. Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the third one. I played the other two, so I feel like I should. I'm going to make an executive decision and just drop Tekken and drop Dream Daddy off these lists. Persona 5 I'm going to keep. Pyro I'm going to keep. Yakuza 0 I'm going to keep. Persona 5, already told you I was going to keep it. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. I played the other RE game this year that was the sequel to this. My Village is what it was. Maybe I'll go back and play Biohazard. We'll see. So as we keep going, we're getting back now. This is 2016 right here. So, I mean, now you're getting really deep into these lists, 2015. And as you can see, we're kind of weeding this out. Jazz punk, broken age. So yeah, so this is essentially what I'm looking at in terms of a backlog. So we've come out of 2022. There are good games on the horizon. There's exciting games on the horizon. And all of these games are very different in one way, shape, or form. So I find that very, very cool. This becomes a question of what do we play next? What do we dive into next? And I think the answer that I have is that I have to play a game that is more narrative based next. I'm going to wrap here pretty quickly. I'm going to finish Inscription very, very soon. It may be tonight, it may be tomorrow, but this time next week I will have finished Inscription. You've already heard me gush about that game in our Game of the Year podcast. I think that's an absolutely amazing game. And the question I ask myself now is it time to buy a PlayStation 5? Question is so real. What do we do? I mean, you probably should, right? Maybe? Kinda? Sorta? Huh? I don't know. But what I do want to say is I appreciate you all consuming this content. I have a passion to go out and make sure that my time is valued in this video game space, and I hope yours is too. If you want more of us, you can follow us on our social channels. We are doing a dice night on Saturday. Saturday night, we are going to light things up, make things happen, and Saturday night will be dice night coming to play. So we hope that you join us come Saturday. It's been exactly 1 hour. I'm going to try to keep these to hour-long episodes. Did not make the time to jump into Inscription tonight. Probably not going to see much more of that on stream. There's a playthrough a little bit earlier. It's a great game, and we're going to try to figure out what the next game on the backlog is. So wherever you do, wherever you're from, whatever you're doing, if you love video games, please make sure that you're playing the ones that are worth your time. This is a space that will continue to evolve and stretch mediums, and I am so very excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you for joining me tonight. It has been a lot of fun. I'm excited about what the world has to show. So have a great night. Be well. Thanks again. Come back and see us on Saturday. Well, we'll do Dice Night. And please do not forget, the Underpowered channel has a lot of moving pieces in it right now. We still do a podcast on Tuesday. Thursday nights, Eric and I are going to rotate either the Pokemon Hour or a Backlog Battler episode where we're tackling a specific game or talking about games that we've recently played. This has been a dream becoming reality right before your eyes with this Underpowered channel. So thank you for your support, and thank you for liking and subscribing wherever the heck you may be watching us. TikTok, Twitch, YouTube Shorts. Please like and follow all those platforms and spread the word, because the more we can get this message out, the more that we can create great content. And we appreciate you very much for doing all you do. That's a wrap for me this week. Guys, thanks again for hanging out with me. Be well, kiss your loved ones, and of course, game on. Later.
He just wants to come home every day and play Ninja Turtles.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Gunlance is fun. I blast around that place.
Oh,
We're
that's
playing
right.
with
They
a
can
group
do
of
the
my
rocket
wife's friends,
launcher.
and they're like, "What is he doing?" And they were just seeing me. I'm like, "Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet."
The local hunters and the local rangers and gets wolf meat. And with that meat, he will then finely cut it up, make it into a fine mush, sprinkle paprika, some salt, some other hot spices to make a real nice hot sausage. And he serves it with a stein of beer. And so if people order it, they are now the fine recipients of the Wolfenstein special.
I actually really like this kind of art design, so I think I would probably be into this.
I never stop. I'm on that beast, start to finish with the Gunlance.
And I did not realize, just looking at the graphics and the way they are, I did not realize that you could go up the stairs further. So that would be that's really dorky.
So we only pick games we don't like.
Oh, okay.
And then we hope by playing them that it'll sort of sway our opinion.
I mean, I don't. You just incepted me. I don't know how to feel. Is this real life or is this a dream?
Did you use that as a verb?
A revolution's not a bed of roses.
That's Taylor Swift.
That is T Swift. Yeah.
You
that's
guys
T
are
Swift.
sure?
Yeah.
Sounds like a lyric, yeah.
That is Fidel Castro.
Oh, come on! Damn, this is a hard game!
I'll start a new one together. It's called We Hate It. And we use Jay Sherman from The Critic as the name. Okay.
Yeah, it's a spin-off. It's going to be Turn Then Burn.
Turns is a waste. I'm not paying $34 for a pizza.
Oh, Casey just disappeared. I don't know where he went. Apparently the pizza gods got real pissed at him and just decided to axe him out.
That's it. There's no way you know.
Fly off from the clip top, and then you go smack the thing over the head, unload all your shells at once, overhead slam, charge up the Wyvern Fire, and knock it back.
It's almost going to be like an updated version of like West Side Story, where like some people show up at town hall to get a bunch of Weedles, and then the other group is there to get the 84 Lakers.
I don't want it. Here's the deciding factor for me. When I have to do chores in a game, I'm not playing. It's like you gotta go bring this person this cup of water, and then they give you this key, and then you gotta go over here and do this thing so you can get this sword. I'm like,
And he's like falling back in love with video games. He just wants to come home every day and play Ninja Turtles. Oh my god.
Yeah, Gunlance. Gunlance is fun lance. I blast around.